Hey guys, here's another video. This one I want to dedicate to Sarah. Butterfly Kisses Lupus Support Page Private Group. Butterfly Kisses Lupus Support Page. So Sarah and some of the girls here in Ireland are getting a little worried about COVID-19 and whatnot. And well, for this is a message to all the lupines out there like me, Dan the Wolfman. So if you have lupus, everyone's freaking out. Guess what, people? If you have lupus, you already and other autoimmune diseases. I have other friends on YouTube with autoimmune diseases, like my friend Gun Sam, Revolver Aficionado. And if you have an autoimmune disease, if you have lupus specifically, but others as well, you're already more badass than everybody else who's freaking out right now. Just think about it. Just think about it. Like, oh my god, I'm so bored. All these stupid bitches posting on Facebook. A few days into it, while they still have electricity, they still have Netflix and what else? And they're fucking complaining. I go days where I cannot leave the house, flared up on a constant basis. I routinely, if I don't have work or something to do, I try to plan my outings every other day. So I have a day and a half to rest and get rid of the inflammation. So, if you're like me, you already deal with pain and self quarantine all the time. So, laugh at all those other stupid fuckers in the world who are barely able to deal with this after, oh boy, a couple days, and they still got electricity. I lived in Egypt. My electricity went out all the time. Okay. My refrigerator broke all the time. The air conditioner broke all the time. And other places I've lived around the world, uh, as well. So, look, you're already more badass than everybody else, and that's my message. So if you have an ailment, if you're immunocompromised, if you're autoimmune, whatever, you probably have RA or MS. You already are more badass than everyone else. We've been preparing for this forever. We deal with this forever. Oh, can't go out. How many times have you been flared up if you have lupus and you haven't left the house for 3, 4, 5 days? That you're lucky if you can wait at 5 hours after waking up. Maybe you can finally get off the couch, get off the bed, and pull yourself up by the bootstraps and get yourself in the shower and stretch a little bit. They don't have any fucking clue what that's like every day. They're weak. We're the survivors. We're the survivors. And so some of the stuff I say is tongue in cheek, and look, it all comes true. If you look at all my posts in the last week and a half, then stuff gets announced 1 or 2 days later. Been pretty spot on with what's going on with all this stuff. Also, some tongue in cheek jokes about maybe they could use my blood. Maybe they could use lupus blood, because maybe I did contract COVID and saved myself by going on amoxicillin, saved my lungs from getting damaged further, and the fact that it turns out I was already on an off-label drug for years, which everyone with lupus already is an off-label drug they've been using and they are testing. There's testing quite a few drugs right now, but that's one of the two big ones they've tested in other countries, and there is a big test I found yesterday. So, yes, now it's being proposed that people that have contracted it get serology tests. Hopefully those will get out because we're already building immunities. And actually, people with regular immune systems, they die from it because an over immune response to the attack of the lungs, and then an over response. So that's why they die. So actually, people with autoimmune, perhaps our serum, our blood serum or plasma serum may actually help people even more than others. I don't know for sure. I'm not a geneticist. But considering that we probably are building the antibodies over a slower period of time, perhaps, that we don't have such a big reaction, and especially people with lupus, we're already on one of the drugs anyway that they've been using to treat it. Who knows what the fact we've been on it long term versus people that are just studying going on the dosage that we happen to take every day. Who knows? I kind of joked about it. Maybe we could help everybody out. Or maybe the silver lining is if I got it and other people got it, I don't know if I do. I just sent an email to CDC. They're going to be swarmed, and I doubt I'll get a response. But it may actually be wise to test me, send me out a kit, or have me go in since I'm near Atlanta. Um, to do one of their first serotology, I think I'm saying that right, tests to see if I have antibodies, and then I'm willing to donate plasma to the first kind of trials to help at-risk people will get antibodies or people, first that's something that's being proposed until serums can be developed. Or I think I said that wrong, but while potential serums can be developed before other things can be developed. So there's a silver lining, perhaps. That doesn't mean don't be safe. That doesn't mean don't self quarantine. We definitely have to worry about pneumonia. If you start getting pneumonia symptoms where you're feeling like you're drowning in sputum, which is actually what I felt like for 2 days, I was like throwing up. I had so much phlegm, and it hit very, very fast. If it was a regular flu and happened because I was having a flare up, turn into pneumonia right away, it probably happened really, really fast. That's still most likely Occam's razor, but if not, guys, if you are autoimmune and you really start getting a lung infection or a high fever, not a sleep fever, but you start getting a high fever, or you start like, oh my god, I can't breathe, or you're just like tons and tons of sputum, which sometimes I do, flared up inflammation in my lungs anywhere. You guys feel that chest pain from heart sac being inflamed and stuff. Be very careful and contact a real medical professional, i.e., not me. Contact a real medical professional right away. Get seen if you can. Get tested if you can. Or, hey, doc, what should I do? Can you get me some amoxicillin right away? Or something, a strong antibiotic like that. That acts quickly. Okay. I had another antibiotic in my stash, but I know that one doesn't act as quickly. So I'm glad that's not the one I decided to do. And I took my big risk of the stuff that I save for years just in case something big happens. So that's the silver lining. If you are autoimmune, you're concerned, just remember we survive more day to day than every other fucker with their whiny ass survives all the time. And they are clueless. And as your family and best friends, oh yeah, I forgot. Dude, I'm in constant pain all the fucking time. It's hard to wake up. I'm tired all the fucking time. You, like, let them deal with it for a minute. It's a bit tongue in cheek, but let them freak out about, oh my god, I gotta stay in the house for a few days. Like, let them deal with it for a little bit. We're the true survivors. And, everyone dies anyway. It's no big deal. I already looked that shit in the face. If I die tomorrow, yeah, I get kind of sad and depressed. She asked about some depression, anxiety. Yes, I get more anxiety. You always worry about getting sick or when you start getting sick, and you can't tell if it's just lupus or not. And doctors can't friggin' tell, and especially if you're a white man with lupus. I self-identify as a black female. You should see the looks like, hey, doc, I'm here. What are you here to see? I had to get a new doctor recently. I can't afford a doctor, so I have to go to a clinic, and I got to reserve special time for the once a week that a doctor might show up 3 hours late to see a real doctor. The once a week they go in, right? Because most of the nurses, some nurse practitioners, I've been lucky with a few like nurses and nurse practitioners, but a lot of them they got no clue. They have no education about a lot of things really. I'm not hating on nurses because they're the ones that are at risk and saving all of us right now. But for dealing with something like us, especially when you can't get insurance and you get denied, it's difficult. But anyway, guys, you I still feel like I'm running a late fever. I'm very incoherent at night doing these videos. Um, and yeah, I don't care that I look ugly. I'm kind of doing that on purpose. Um, if just hang in there and just remember we go through it. Anyway, my point was everybody freaking dies. Like, big deal. Get over it. You're not that special. I'm not that special. No one's that special. If you're young, I get it. That kind of sucks. Whatever. Especially if you have something like lupus, deal with it, look at face to face, and then live the next 10, 15, 20 years if you're really lucky, whatever, live them good. I've been really sick last couple years, but I did some fun stuff. I traveled the world, trying when this COVID stuff passes, not now, try to don't be crazy, but try to live it up a little bit and, have some fun times. People might get hit by a bus the next day. You never know people. So take everything with a grain of salt and some of my videos are, a little bit doom and gloom. It's more like, get effing prepared now. A few days ago, I'm like, there's going to be state of emergencies declared. There's going to be curfews. And I'm sure people watched my video from 5 days ago, and they're like, everything I said was going to happen. And I tried projecting it out 2 weeks. And shit's really going to be bad in America in 3 weeks. I'm still saying that. If you haven't prepared for shit actually getting real in about 3 weeks, well, shame on you. But be strong. Be of good courage. And you'll survive, because we do it all the time. We do it every day. We are fighters. We are the fighters. So, Sarah, to you and to other people in your group, Butterfly Kisses Lupus support page, to the men with lupus groups I occasionally pop in and out of. There's 2 men with lupus groups. It's so rare. Nobody knows how to deal with a men with lupus. I mean, it was the whole catchphrase, Dr. Gregory House, might be lupus. There was only one episode where it was actually lupus. Try being a man with lupus. They have no idea. Personally, me, my hormones have been all off the scale. I'm like a gorilla. I have 400 times normal people's pregnanolone. No one knows what that is. My thyroid, they read it wrong on the paper because my thyroid's been as low as a dead body and as high as 10 people. So it messes up all kinds of stuff. Nobody has a clue. Nobody has a clue of this shit that I deal with. And yet, still, I try to do stunt work, so you better not hire me, because I will bust my ass, and I can still bust my ass. I can still fight for 3 hours. I can still whatever. I just have to lay down for 2 days after. I take care of me. Don't discriminate against me, because I need some work. But I will still bust my ass and do what I need to do. It just means I don't go out for the 2 days before, and I don't go out for the 2 days after, and I save up my energy like a power meter on a video game. If you're new with lupus or another autoimmune guys, think of it like that and try to build up your power meter and use it wisely, my friends. And don't push it too hard, and know that you're going to pay if you do push it too hard, which I recently did just to reconnect with a family member, because I figure one of us will probably die soon. And I wanted to try to do that as best as I can, even though I put myself at risk, and I very well, possibly fucked myself really bad by being around a bunch of people. And possibly contracting a flu at least, and then getting pneumonia and a flare up. People don't understand the risk you take just to go be around other people on a daily basis, or for a party, or anything like that. So I've rambled, God knows, for long enough. Hopefully you got my point. You're already a survivor. You're more badass than you're giving yourself credit. Don't get depressed. Read books. I wish, today was my last outing. I wish I would have stopped at a library, and I didn't. I should have picked up some books and started reading again, especially if the power does go out. I'm prepared for things to get worse. There's going to be an economic collapse. I'm prepared for things to get worse. Mentally. Maybe not really prepared, but like mentally. Like, you should be mentally prepared. Always be prepared. And do some stretching, and have fun. I laugh at this is the time. I've watched half of the movies already on Netflix before all this apocalyptic movies. Here Alone, I watched the other day. That was a pretty good one, and it went in the direction I wanted to, not the usual direction with the characters. So I'm really happy about that. Gave up on 4400. The first season was awesome, and now it's becoming like a chore to watch it, and I don't think it's going to come back. So rewatching Jericho now. That's a great show. And have fun, have a little laugh at that. Be prepared, take things seriously, but just try to keep your chin up a little bit, because you're a survivor, and you deal with the thought of survival on a daily basis, and everybody else around the world's getting a little wake up call. So, if anything, you could be like, "Yeah, do you see what this is like, dude?" Take care, everybody. Please thumbs up, please share, please subscribe. Look at my other videos I've made in the last few days. Not all everybody's going to agree with, but I think people should be able to protect themselves and be prepared in any and all situations, because protecting the sanctity of life of good people, including yourself, and hopefully your neighbors are good people, and try and help out each other, but ultimately you got to take care of your own. Or if you're alone like me, you got to be able to take care of yourself. So anyway, guys, I'm Dan the Wolfman, been known Dan the Wolfman for years. Isn't that ironic? Lupines out there. And I will catch you on the flip side. Cheers, everybody.